Have you ever considered how much your debt is holding you back from building true wealth? It's an uncomfortable question, but one worth exploring. Debt isn't just a financial burden, it's a wealth-destroying mechanism that can impede your journey towards financial freedom. Let's start with the most glaring problem: interest payments. These are resources that could be put to better use, like investing. Imagine you're paying 10% interest on a loan. That's 10% of your money that isn't working for you. It's not being invested in the stock market, it's not being used to buy real estate, and it's not earning you a return. In fact, it's doing the exact opposite. It's slowly eroding your wealth. Now consider the opportunity cost. That's a term economists use to describe what you're giving up when you make a decision. When you're in debt, the opportunity cost is the wealth-building opportunities you're missing out on. Maybe it's the chance to start your own business, or the flexibility to take a lower-paying job that offers more potential for long-term growth. Debt takes away your financial flexibility and can prevent you from taking risks that could pay off big in the future. Then there's the stress factor. The constant worry about making payments can take a toll on your health and well-being. It's hard to focus on building wealth when you're always looking over your shoulder, worried about creditors. Finally, debt can trap you in a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. You're always playing catch-up, never getting ahead. Instead of building wealth, you're merely surviving, and that's no way to live. So the next time you're tempted to take on debt, think about the true cost. It's not just the interest payments or the monthly bills. It's the lost opportunities, the stress, and the cycle of financial stagnation. In essence, debt is the invisible chain that shackles us to a life of financial stagnation. Let's break those chains and start building true wealth. It's easy to underestimate the true cost of debt. If you're like most people, you're likely looking at the surface, focusing on the amount borrowed and the monthly payments. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's delve deeper into the world of debt, and more specifically, into the realm of compounding interest. This is a double-edged sword. When it's working for you, it's your best ally, helping your savings grow exponentially over time. But when it's working against you, like in the case of debt, it's your worst enemy. Imagine you've taken out a loan or racked up some credit card debt. You're being charged interest on that amount. As time goes by, you're not just being charged interest on the original amount, but also on the accumulated interest. This is compounding interest, and it's how a small debt can balloon into a significant financial burden. Now let's talk about minimum payments. It may seem tempting to pay just the minimum amount due on your bill each month. After all, it frees up more of your income for other expenses. But here's the catch. When you pay only the minimum, you're barely scratching the surface of your debt. Most of your payment goes towards the interest, and a very small portion goes towards reducing the principal amount. This means you're essentially extending the life of your debt and in turn, increasing its total cost. So what's the true cost of debt? It's not just the amount you borrow, it's the amount plus the interest, plus the time you spend paying it off, plus the opportunities you miss because your money is tied up in repayments. The cost of debt is also the stress it adds to your life, the sleepless nights worrying about money, and the strain it can put on relationships. It's the freedom and peace of mind you miss out on when you're chained to monthly payments. Remember, every dollar you pay in interest is a dollar that isn't working for you in building your wealth. The true cost of debt is much more than a number. It's the impact it has on your life and your future wealth-building potential. Now that we understand the impact of debt, what can we do about it? Well, there are many practical strategies to reduce current debt, and we'll delve into them right now. Firstly, creating a budget is essential. It's like a roadmap for your spending, showing where your money goes each month. A well-structured budget can help you spot areas where you're overspending and where you can cut back. By freeing up more of your income, you can allocate more funds toward paying off your debt. Remember, a budget doesn't restrict your spending, it gives you control. Next, prioritizing debt repayment is key. Start by listing all your debts, from the highest interest rate to the lowest. This method, often referred to as the avalanche method, focuses on paying off the most expensive debts first, thus saving you money over time. Alternatively, you might find the snowball method more motivating. This involves paying off the smallest debts first to build momentum. Whichever approach you choose, the goal is to make consistent, timely payments to reduce your overall debt. Now let's talk about debt consolidation and refinancing options. Debt consolidation combines multiple debts into one single debt, usually with a lower interest rate. This can make managing your debt simpler and more affordable. Refinancing, on the other hand, involves replacing your current debt with a new one. ideally with better terms. Both strategies can be effective, but they also come with risks. It's important to thoroughly research and consider your options before proceeding. Another crucial point is to avoid accumulating new debt while working towards paying off the existing ones. It may seem obvious, but it's easy to fall into the trap of using credit cards or loans to cover expenses while you're trying to pay off other debts. This can lead to a cycle of increasing debt that's hard to break. Instead, strive to live within your means. If you can't afford it with the money you have, it's best to wait until you can. Lastly, consider seeking professional advice. Financial advisors, credit counseling agencies, and debt relief companies can provide personalized guidance based on your individual circumstances. While there's a cost involved, the potential benefits can far outweigh the expense. They can help you navigate complex financial situations, negotiate with creditors, and develop a realistic plan to get out of debt. Remember, reducing debt isn't about quick fixes or magic solutions. It's about making consistent, deliberate choices to better manage your money. It's about changing habits, making sacrifices, and staying committed to your financial health. Reducing debt is a journey, but with the right tools and determination, it's a journey you can complete. And remember, every journey begins with a single step. So take that first step today and start paving your path towards a debt-free life. Imagine a life without the burden of debt. What could you achieve? Now let's delve into the power of living debt-free. Stepping out of the shadow of debt is like stepping into a world of opportunities. It's like a breath of fresh air, a weight lifted off your shoulders. Suddenly, the road to wealth building becomes clearer, and the journey far more enjoyable. One of the most significant benefits of being debt-free is the ability to invest more in wealth-building opportunities. When you're not saddled with debt, you have more disposable income. This is money that can be invested in stocks, bonds, real estate, or even a new business venture. It's like planting a seed that can grow into a money tree, a tree that keeps bearing fruit year after year. Living debt-free also leads to increased financial security. No longer do you have to worry about creditors knocking on your door or losing sleep over looming bills. You have a safety net, a buffer against life's unexpected turns. This security gives you the confidence to take calculated risks, to make bold moves. And in the game of wealth building, sometimes it's these bold moves that reap the most significant rewards. But perhaps the most profound benefit of living debt-free is the peace of mind it brings. There's an indescribable sense of calm in knowing that you owe nothing to anyone. You're not living paycheck to paycheck, constantly playing catch-up. You're in control of your finances, and by extension, your life. That's priceless. Now let's touch on the concept of financial freedom. It's not just about amassing wealth, it's about having the freedom to use that wealth as you please. It's about going on that dream vacation without worrying about the bills. It's about retiring early and spending your golden years in comfort. It's about giving generously to causes you care about. Living debt-free isn't just about having more money, it's about having more choices, more security, and more freedom. With every debt you pay off, you're not just moving closer to financial freedom. You're moving closer to a life of possibilities, and that, my friends, is the true power of living debt-free. We've covered a lot today, so let's take a moment to recap. We started by understanding the profound impact of debt on wealth building. Debt is like a chain that pulls you down, preventing you from reaching your financial goals. We then delved into the true cost of debt, looking beyond the surface level of interest rates, and understanding the long-term consequences it can have on your financial health. We offered practical tips to reduce your current debt, emphasizing the importance of having a solid plan and the discipline to stick to it. And finally, we explored the power of living debt-free, a lifestyle that allows you to truly build and preserve your wealth. In conclusion, the road to wealth building is not a sprint, but a marathon. It requires persistence, discipline, and most importantly, freedom from debt. Remember, your wealth is not just about what you earn, but also about what you keep. Say no to debt and yes to wealth.